Everything is fucked. Sounds dramatic, right? But let's be honest, haven't you felt that way at some point? Despite all the progress, all the wealth, and all the technology, people today seem more anxious, more depressed, and more hopeless than ever. If you've ever felt like the world is burning while you're trying to hold it together, then this book is for you. Mark Manson, the best-selling author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, takes us on a deep, unfiltered dive into the psychology of hope, meaning, and how to navigate a world that seems to be spiraling out of control. In this summary, we'll break down Manson's two-part journey, first through our emotional and rational minds, and then into the paradoxes of modern life that make us feel powerless. By the end, you'll walk away with a fresh perspective on pain, meaning, and what it really takes to live a good life. Let's get started. Part 1. Hope. Chapter 1. The uncomfortable truth. Hope is a tricky thing. We crave it, we need it, and yet sometimes it's the very thing that leads to suffering. Manson begins by reminding us of something we all secretly fear. Life is pain, and the only way we survive is by telling ourselves stories that make it bearable. He calls this the uncomfortable truth, the idea that no matter what we do, life is inherently meaningless. But here's the twist. Meaning doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from choosing which pain is worth suffering for. He introduces the idea of our two brains, the thinking brain, which is logical and rational, and the feeling brain, which is impulsive and emotional. We like to think we're rational creatures, but in reality, it's the feeling brain that's in charge. It makes decisions, and the thinking brain just justifies them after the fact. The sooner we accept this, the sooner we can start making choices that actually matter. Chapter 2. Self-control is an illusion. Have you ever promised yourself you'd wake up early, hit the gym, or quit procrastinating, only to find yourself hitting snooze, skipping workouts, and doom scrolling instead? Turns out, that's not because you're lazy. It's because self-control is largely an illusion. Manson explains that our feeling brain drives the car while the thinking brain sits in the passenger seat pretending to navigate. We don't change through sheer willpower. We change by rewiring the narratives we tell ourselves. If you hate the gym, you won't go. But if you convince yourself that you are the kind of person who enjoys exercise, your habits follow. The key to lasting change: convincing your feeling brain that it actually wants what's good for you. This means shifting from a place of self-judgment to one of self-compassion. Instead of punishing yourself for failures, recognize what your emotional patterns are telling you. When we approach ourselves with curiosity rather than criticism, real transformation becomes possible. Chapter 3. Newton's laws of emotion. If you push an object, it moves. If you stop pushing, it stops. Sounds like basic physics, right? Well, emotions work the same way. Manson describes emotional inertia, the idea that once we feel something, we keep feeling it unless something disrupts it. Then there's emotional resistance. The more we suppress emotions, the stronger they push back. Finally, emotional gravity. We can't choose what we feel, but we can choose how we interpret those feelings. The takeaway: stop fighting your emotions. Instead, work with them. When we acknowledge and process our feelings rather than resisting them, we free ourselves from their control. Rather than battling anxiety, what if we sat with it and asked what it was trying to teach us? Emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing emotions, but understanding their purpose. The more we lean into our emotions, the more we can harness them rather than being controlled by them. Chapter 4. How to make all your dreams come true. It sounds like a motivational speech, but Manson's version of achieving dreams is the opposite of what self-help gurus preach. He argues that hope is actually a form of fear that things aren't good enough as they are. Chasing dreams is often just a way of distracting ourselves from dealing with the present. the solution. Stop trying to find happiness in the future. Instead, focus on meaning, something worth suffering for in the here and now. True fulfillment comes from engaging with life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Manson urges us to look at what we're willing to struggle for, because that's where real passion lies. Rather than fantasizing about a better future, we should invest in the present, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. Chapter 5. Hope is fucked. Hope is often seen as a virtue, but Manson argues that hope itself can be a trap. The very nature of hope implies that something is wrong with the present, making it impossible to be fully satisfied with life as it is. Instead of clinging to hope as a lifeline, he suggests that we learn to live without it. This means embracing discomfort, uncertainty, and even suffering without needing a grand narrative to justify it. True freedom, Manson argues, comes from abandoning the illusion of a better future and fully accepting the present moment. Part 2. Everything is fucked. Chapter 6. The Formula of Humanity. What does it mean to be good? Manson turns to the philosopher Immanuel Kant, who argued that we should never treat people as a means to an end. Yet, in our modern world, we commodify everything, even relationships. His point? The moment we start seeing people or ourselves as mere tools for success, we lose our humanity. Real meaning comes from treating people as ends in themselves. When we focus solely on outcomes, money, status, validation, we erode our capacity for genuine human connection. Manson challenges us to reevaluate what truly matters and whether our choices reflect that. Chapter 7. Pain is the universal constant. If there's one unavoidable truth, it's that pain is inevitable. Every person, no matter how rich or successful, experiences suffering. The difference is what we suffer for. Manson suggests that instead of avoiding pain, we should choose it deliberately. The right kind of pain, one tied to purpose, leads to growth and fulfillment. When we accept pain rather than resist it, we find deeper meaning in our experiences. Chapter 8. The Feelings Economy. We like to think we live in a rational, data-driven world, but the truth is, everything is about feelings. Brands sell emotions, not products. Politicians sell hope and fear, not policies. Even facts don't matter unless they fit the emotional narratives we already believe. Understanding this is powerful. It means that if you want to influence yourself or others, logic alone won't cut it. You have to appeal to emotions first. Chapter 9. The Final Religion. If hope is a trap, what's the alternative? Manson proposes a radical idea. Instead of seeking hope, embrace the present moment fully, without needing a reason. The final chapter leaves us with a choice: cling to false hope, or let go and accept that life, in all its messiness, is still worth living. True freedom lies in surrendering to reality, without the need for constant justification. Conclusion. So, where does this leave us? Manson's message is clear. Hope can be a dangerous illusion, and meaning isn't something we find in the future. It's something we create right now. By embracing pain, accepting uncertainty, and letting go of the need for constant hope, we can find a deeper, more authentic sense of fulfillment. The question is, are you ready to stop hoping for a better life and start fully living the one you have? Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this summary, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the books that challenge the way we think.